The level of trust that gamers have in companies is at an all-time low. We do not trust companies to hire the best people for the jobs or that those people are going to put their best foot forward, make high-quality content, and ultimately give gamers what they want to consume. But we have seen so many major failures over the past couple of years. Look at something like Concord, right? Over $500 million went into that game, and it's basically just a burnt cash at this point, given it had to go offline. And now a former PlayStation boss is saying that $200 million AAA budgets mean publishers are greenlighting fewer games, which could be good for the industry. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I love a big, expansive experience, right? I love when a game does something larger than life and it pushes boundaries and pushes limits and it looks insane. And I love getting that type of experience. But at the same time, when a company is putting hundreds of millions of dollars into one single project, they typically play it safe. They do what they know is going to sell because they want to make that money back. And if they take a major risk with a budget that high, it could turn out to be a disaster. And if we are getting games that are a smaller budget, but we're getting more of them, I think that that would actually be good for the industry because it means developers are going to be able to take risks. We might get content that potentially isn't groundbreaking, but is still really fun and might be unique in certain ways. Maybe like the gameplay is pretty generic, but the story's really crazy, or vice versa. And now Yoshida is coming out and talking about how ballooning game budgets are limiting the number of games that can be made. And it's really simple to see. I mean, we've known that, right? When you're putting $500 million into a single game, you're not developing another game like that over that development period. You expect that game to be major. I mean, Sony went out of their way to buy Firewalk Studios thinking this was going to be a massive new IP and that Concord was going to be a smashing success. I mean, they even had an episode of Secret Level. None of that turned out good. They had to shut the game down. The rumor is that they're going to basically reskin it and try to like retool it and reuse it. I don't think that that's going to happen. But either way, that was a major failure. They lost hundreds of millions of dollars on that game. And are they going to make another game like Concord anytime soon? Probably not. I mean, sure, they're still doing like live service and progressive content, but I don't think that they're going to try to make another hero shooter anytime soon. It says, though, in an appearance on the Kit and Krista channel, the ex-exec who used to be in charge of PlayStation's first-party studios explained how it felt like going big was safer during the PS4 generation, which you can see in the company's output during that era. PlayStation notably had less Patapons and Gravity Rushes and way more blockbusters that simply smelled expensive. God of War, Horizon, The Order, etc. Now, not every low-budget game is going to be a smashing success. Some of them are going to fall flat. I personally really like seeing the Patapons and the Gravity Rushes and the Repos, and I know so many other people feel the same, but at the same time, I love seeing the big, expensive games. Unfortunately, though, when we see a game that is a big budget, we almost always know now that the developers are going to play it too safe, and it's probably just going to be more of the same. It's not going to be super unique or interesting because they're just afraid of losing money. It may be counterintuitive, but if we spent enough money to make the big game, the chance of success felt increased because everybody wanted to play bigger games with more beautiful graphics and more realistic looking characters and more gameplay hours. Yoshida then mentioned how AAA budgets, sometimes exceeding $200 million, meant publishers chose to greenlight a smaller number of games. They need to learn from titles like Expedition 33. That game didn't have a $200 million budget. That game didn't have a team of hundreds of people. That game didn't take them 8 years of development time. It just took a smaller group of extremely passionate people and people who were actually good at their jobs, people who didn't put a narrative first, people who didn't worry about what the response was going to be to their game. They just wanted to create a high quality, fun experience, and look at how massively successful that turned out to be. We don't need AAA budgets, and we don't even really need AAA companies anymore, given they're not listening to what we want, and they're not trying to innovate, and they're not trying to actually push the boundaries at all whatsoever. And I know sometimes that can be hard, right? Sometimes it can be difficult to create new gameplay systems or new stories that don't feel too convoluted or confusing and that can actually appeal to people, but there are still ways to innovate, and they don't want to. These AAA companies don't want to. That's why AA studios are doing so amazing right now. Why indies are really thriving, because gamers are looking for alternatives. I want to sit here and say that there is a chance that, oh my gosh, the PlayStations and the Xboxes are actually going to see the successes of Expedition 33s and change their mentality. But at the same time, I just don't have any trust or faith in them anymore. And that's a major problem in this industry right now, is people do not want to look at these companies and root for them anymore because they have turned their backs on us time and time again. Can companies, we'll just say, drop the slop? I don't know. They also are extremely entrenched in pushing political ideology, which is another major problem. They have so many activists who are not worried about creating high quality entertainment and escapism anymore. They're just worried about using their platform for social justice. Can those people decide to put their personal politics to the side and just make really good games anymore? I don't necessarily think so. All of the veterans that used to be in this industry have been pushed out for this, we'll just say, like, new blood or this new round of people. And these new people absolutely fucking suck at their jobs. It's hard to sit here and say I see a lot of success for the industry in the future, besides what they've already seen, when we just keep getting bad project after bad project. I saw some analysis or estimate of one of the same franchise released during the PS4 era and PS5 generation doubled the budget, and that has reached the point that we cannot recoup this investment. So this generation, the PS5 generation, I think is the first time that the industry really truly believes that, there has to be something that has to be done. And of course, this was posted over on social media, and a lot of people are saying really exactly what I did. Then make your own damn game, smaller, mid-sized. There's no reason to create a blockbuster IP all the time. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 made it clear that we don't need a blockbuster budget to make a great game, which is 100% true. I think maybe these companies, the Xboxes and the Sonys, could create one big blockbuster a year or two big blockbusters a year, and then create, we'll just say, AA size titles, and they'd be doing great. Safer implies reduced risk. The most successful projects are also the most risky. Who asks for every game to cost over $200 million to develop? People just want great games that aren't expensive. Quality over quantity. There's no reason a game should cost $200 million. Simple as that. So it will definitely be interesting to see if we see a shift over the next couple of months and also years. We know Xbox is going through a lot of layoffs. Sony's gone through some layoffs. A lot of these companies are shifting their mentalities internally, and that could mean no more 200, 300, 400 million dollar games, or a reduced number of them, which I do think could actually be good for these companies. Will they change? Only time will tell, but it's not looking good for them, given they've had to get rid of so many employees and cancel so many projects recently. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.